Alright, so this is part 3 of the restoration video. So there's a couple holidays coming up. Thanksgiving's in a couple days, and then Christmas obviously is after that. So the whole holiday season I'm not going to be able to work on the car that much. So this video is going to be edited quite a bit. So if you notice some sloppy editing, sorry in advance. I actually only came over today to put a tarp over the car because we're expecting some rain. So I figured while I was here, I might as well put some fogging oil into the spark plug holes. That way it can just sit for the next week before I get new spark plugs and then drain the oil and all that stuff. So what I'm going to be using today is this spark plug puller. I can already tell you right off the bat that one is not the best quality one. Probably, if I had more time, I would get a better quality one, but this is literally the only one in stock. I have a 3/8 drive ratchet extension and spark plug tool, and then a stable fogging oil. It's funny because this is actually the last one that was in the Walmart today. So I guess people are gearing up for the winter season and getting their cars ready. So this one I already pulled off. I saw that this one was already broken. Don't know how that happened. But yeah, basically I'm just gonna get in there, pull these off one by one, spray some oil on each one of the cylinders, and just let it sit while I throw the tarp over it. And then maybe after Thanksgiving I'll come back, drain the oil, change the spark plugs and the coolant, and then maybe throw a new battery in there and see what's going on. So the reason that I'm using fogging oil first is when these cars sit for a long time, whatever's in there, whatever's lubricated the engine is draining down into the bottom. So there's the cylinders and stuff, they're not lubricated. So I'm gonna do this first. That way I can attempt to crank the engine to see if it spins, because I don't want to try to make it spin and then have dirt and all that stuff built, like scrape the insides of the walls. So I'm gonna start by taking off the spark plugs. Here we go. So as you can see, this one's pretty badly corroded. I'm gonna take them off and do a comparison, but yeah, you can see that's not too pretty looking. But it's normal for cars that have been sitting for a long time. You definitely don't want that in your daily driver there. Changing the spark plugs here on the other side. Actually, I'm already done with them, but I just wanted to show you guys something that I found. So I was looking in here and I noticed, like, hey, that doesn't look like part of the car. So I opened it up. Oh, poor guy. Dead lizard. He didn't make it. That's not a good way to die. But these are the kind of things that you find. Dead lizard body. Let's give him a proper burial. Okay, so it's been about a week since I did the fogging oil and the spark plugs, but I'm actually going to change the spark plugs this time. So these, I finally got these in. These are the AC Delco spark plugs. They're R45TS. That's what they called for on the engine manual. Again, the same pullers. I got some duster to spray around the spark plugs. I don't have an air compressor out here, so there's no electricity. I got the fogging oil again. I got a better spark plug tool this time. The rubber boot kept falling out of my other one, so I got that on Amazon. I'll share the link. 3/8 drive, and then I have my torque wrench down here too to finish everything up, to tighten everything. So I'm gonna put the camera on the tripod. Get to business. So as I'm taking the spark plugs out, I am referring to this little sticker here, and see how it says spark plug gap 0.035 inches. I'll show you how to use the tool to check the gap on the spark plug. So I'm checking them when I'm pulling them out, and I'm going to check them when I'm putting them in. I just want to see like what condition the engine was in as I'm pulling this stuff out. So here's the spark plug that I just pulled out from my number 1 cylinder, and then here's the gapping tool. So you see right here how it has 0.030, that would be 0.035. So theoretically this should line up with that. So it's actually just a little bit short of it, but that's fine. I mean, it's kind of close within the range, and then this thing's obviously not been taken care of for a while, so it could be a lot worse. So I'm gonna start pulling the other ones out and checking them, and then checking the new ones before I put them in. So here's a new one. Let's see, nice and shiny. tapping tool. So right there on the dot, 0.035. That's exactly where I want them, and that's what the manufacturer calls for. So easy day. Alright, so I got all the spark plugs on, and now I'm just going to go back in with the torque wrench and torque them down to 20 foot-pounds. So this wire here is broken. So I mean, I could have just went to AutoZone and bought one and replaced it, but the whole thing needed to be changed. So I'm just going to swap those out too. Alright, so next we are going to get into just changing the battery. Simple stuff, not too crazy. This is the EverStart Max battery from Walmart. The reason I got this one is it had a 5-year warranty. There's no other reason. I mean, most batteries are pretty much made by the same company called Johnson Controls, and they're pretty standard across the line. You never want to cheap out on a battery either, but about 90 bucks is fine for one of these. So I'm just gonna spray because you need to take out this member right here. So I'm just gonna spray the bolts with WD-40, get a socket in there, take that off, swap out the battery. Easy day. All right, so I'm in the middle of changing the battery here, and remember how I said there was no rust? Found some. So this is all completely rusted through. Good part is I think it's just the battery like holder thing. So it looks like it can come off by these bolts right here and these right here. So this part should be easily replaceable. I mean, I can look online after I get home, after I get done with this. But I'm still gonna throw this guy in there, put the keys on there, and see if it's got electricity at least. All right, so the new battery's in there. So I don't know if you remember from the first video, but I broke the key. I had a locksmith take a look at it, and he was able to replace it. So he soldered or welded those two pieces together and cut me a brand new one. So I'm gonna hop in there and try to see. This is going to be the moment of truth. Oh, it works! So the oil light's on, the fuel tank pulled on. I don't even know how to work this, honestly. Let's leave that off. Okay, let's check the lights. These bad boys work. Oh, this fucking lit. And the brake lights work. Alright, so the oil's all drained, as you can see. The filter, I took it off, but I put it back on because I want to take the video and I don't want dust to get in there. But yeah, the oil didn't look too bad, just black as ever. It's not like all milky looking. I didn't see any water come out, so it should be good. It looks like it's definitely been low, but at least there was oil in there. I took the drain plug out, and it looks like the gasket is like just stuck on there, so I need to get a new one. I didn't anticipate for this, so I have to drive to AutoZone and deal with that. But I'm gonna do the oil change, which is some regular Walmart high mileage 10W30. Once the car gets running, I'll switch it out to something better, but just to get everything lubricated and going. And then for the filter, they didn't have the AC Delco one, so I just got the STP one, same price. So I'll throw them on there, and that'll be it until So I came out here about 6:30 in the morning, and I was doing the oil change, and I realized that I should have got the gasket and the drain plug before I started this. So like I said, the gasket was all messed up. I got this one, it's a lot cooler. It was only $4.99 at AutoZone or something like that, so $5. Came with the gasket, a new drain plug, and it has like a little magnetic tip, just if there's any kind of oil shavings in there. I'm gonna take a sample out of that and see. I should have caught it when it was coming down, but I didn't bring tools for that. But yeah. Never seen an oil cap like that before. Usually they just like screw off. That one looks like you pull it or some kind of damage. I don't think it's supposed to be that hard. Hopefully there's no plastic inside the valve cover. I should probably pull that. I'm gonna pull that. Gosh dang it, just when I thought it was gonna be easy. Alright, so batteries in, new spark plugs are in, oil change is done. I'm just waiting on the spark plug wires. They're still in the mail from Jegs.
One eternity.
So these wires just came in from Jegs. They were about 40 bucks for all 8 of the just OEM ones. They were like, I think 30. So I opted to spend the extra 10 bucks. So I started trying to put these wires on and I noticed something. So you see on this one, so you see how this one has 2 like angled ports. So the Jegs wires are all fine. These are listed on the Jegs website that they'll fit the small box Chevy, and the Camaro year is actually even under there. So I might have to let them know to change that, but I need to return it. So these ones are a little different. They're not both angled. This one is kind of like a little boot on the end, and yeah, so it wasn't working. So I had to run over to AutoZone and pick one of these up, which is really annoying because I could have did this 3 weeks ago and had the car running or at least tried to start it. But that's fine. That's all right. That's how you learn these kind of things when you're doing this. And whenever I work on another car, I will make sure I do that first. So I got an extra one of these. So brand new. So just to fill up that one. And yeah, hopefully it works. That was easy enough. I should. I really can't believe I just didn't do that to begin with a couple weeks ago, and I waited so many weeks for the Jegs part to come in, and I came all the way out here to put them on, and it was the wrong one. It took me like 30 seconds to do that. So learn from my mistakes to save your time. I'm gonna move on to putting to siphoning out the fuel. Can't believe I made that mistake. All right, so this should be the last step to get her started. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to siphon out whatever old fuel is in there and then replace it with a gallon of gas, or just leave it empty. If I see any like slushy, nasty stuff in there, then I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna put some starter fluid in the carb and just see if it runs like that. If it runs like that, that means that there's, it works. And then I can troubleshoot backwards from the engine. So, cool thing about this car, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you already know this, but the license plate covers up the gas tank holder thing. So there it is. I already took it out earlier, but yeah, it just comes out like right like that. And yeah, so I got this little siphon from AutoZone. It's it doubles as a pump too. I don't think I'll ever use it for a pump, but I'm just gonna go in there, pull all the old gas out. Hopefully there's, well, I don't really care if there's some in there or not, but hopefully I know that there is some in there so I can look at it and see the condition of the tank. But yeah, here we go. I don't know if there's fuel in there. So I'm just gonna risk it and try to start it. All right, here she goes. Battery's connected, spark plugs are changed, all the spark plug wires are there, fuel in the tank. Even if the fuel doesn't work, I have the carb open. I have the air filter open, so I can put some starter fluid in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and try a cranker, see what happens. Alright, so I don't know if you guys saw the last video, but the battery started smoking, that started smoking, and something back there was smoking too. Not sure what it is yet. I have to like start troubleshooting. It didn't go as smoothly as I thought it would, so I guess we're trying to figure this part out now. This is going to be a lot harder than I was expecting it to be hard, but I thought I was going to be able to at least turn over, but it didn't. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. So I'm gonna walk away feeling a little defeated today, not gonna lie. I was hoping that it was gonna start up as easy as I would imagine in my dreams, but it didn't. So that's fine, because that's the whole point of this. You learn and you go on, and you take the knowledge that you learn with you for the rest of your life. So I don't know what would have caused what seems like what for sure the battery was smoking. The wire right there, the ground wire, was smoking too, and something back there, which I'm assuming is a starter, was smoking. So we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna post some videos of the noise online and analyze and have some other people help me out. But yeah, it's okay. I'm walking away feeling really defeated. All the weeks of like doing the spark plugs, the oil change, the fuel, and it just didn't go as easy as I thought it would. But that's okay. I'm gonna wrap up part 3 right here. Hopefully when we start on part 4, I'll have some better news for you guys.